everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Foxy and this is Foxy Books and Planning. Today is my monthly diamond paint along. I am still working on, well, I'm going to be working on for a while, this Witcher picture that I got a while back. I have made some progress on it since the last diamond paint along. I have about 3 to 4 inches of one side done, and I'm starting a new section. And so with that, I'm just gonna get started and start talking to y'all and see how this goes. And I've also got this new nifty thing where I have discovered I have 2 identical green boats. So I'm debating if I want to try using more than one boat at a time. And I don't think I want to right now. That boat's just gonna get set aside if I need it. And the other thing that I don't need is I'm going to clean out the old wax because it's been a couple of days. And this wax doesn't last as long. Go figure. Alright, so good to go. Alright, so one of the things I wanted, or the thing that I wanted to talk about today during today's diamond paint along is slightly COVID related, not super COVID related, but I wanted to talk about some of the stuff that I've been watching on television right now, slash Netflix, slash Hulu, because I don't actually have cable, and hopefully give you guys some recommendations that you might enjoy as well. And if not, at least provide some lovely background noise for while you're doing whatever you're doing. Alright, so what have I been watching recently? So I kind of go through waves of what I watch, just like I go through waves of reading and waves of music. But primarily during this time, I've kind of been sticking with binge watching series because those have been the most entertaining to me, and trying to get some must-watch movies off my list. So like, for example, this weekend, I decided that because I was trying to do a big clean, I would just have the Marvel Cinematic Universe playing in the background, and I ended up getting super distracted by it because I write Avengers fanfiction, as some people do, and rewatching it because it had been a while since I had last watched all the movies in order. I think the last time I watched was right after I watched them all in release order. Or was it? No, I watched all the movies in chronological order when Disney Plus first launched. Because I did all the movies, and then once I finished the movies, I started working on the Netflix series and got through Daredevil season 1 and Jessica Jones season 1, and I'm currently stuck in the middle of Daredevil season 2. And I just kind of decided I was kind of bored of superheroes, and so I wanted to watch something else. And since then, I've been watching a lot of this old CW show called iZombie. And iZombie is a police procedural that was on the CW channel for a number of years. And it's kind of, its pitch is the sort of normal-ish cop procedural show where there's a hard-boiled detective and kind of a quirky non-police sidekick in Liv, who is a medical examiner, and she also happens to be a zombie. And the zombie outbreak happened a number of months prior to the start of the series. I think it's like 6 months prior to the start of the series, during a boat party that Liv attended. And a mix of a designer street drug and an energy drink caused the zombie virus, essentially. And so now she's a zombie, and one of the downsides of being a zombie is when she eats brains, pure brains of one person, one individual, she starts to get flashbacks from that person's life and take on some of their key character traits. So, like, for example, in the first... Please ignore my lawn care people, because apartment complexes are still doing lawn work. And they do it every day. Or not every day. It used to be Tuesdays, and now they do it on Mondays, which is super irritating. Anyway. But so, like, in the first season, to give you an example, because I don't want to spoil stuff from later on, she eats the brain of an artist and becomes kind of a starving artist herself, and talks in very flowerful kind of artistic language and starts painting and that kind of thing. And so each episode has the murder of the week until you get into the later seasons. And then there are the obvious, like, personal subplots that make you invested in the characters. So, like, with Liv, we have her ex-fiance, Major, who is a human, but he is a social worker at a halfway house for teenagers, and a lot of the teenagers start going missing, so he starts looking into it. And there's another zombie who's running a brain delivery business where he has changed a bunch of the wealthy in Seattle, where the show is set, into zombies, and now they are paying him for their supply of brains. And the series kind of continues. There are lots of ups and downs with the personal stuff. There's a whole lot of will they, won't they. There's a whole lot of, like, who's dating whom, who's into whom, which you would expect on the CW for there to be a high level of emphasis on the relationships between the characters. Because, like, Law & Order almost never does that, which is one of the reasons I love Law & Order so much. And I wish I could watch Law & Order on the internets, but I can't right now. Still trying to figure out how I'm supposed to do it, but all the ways that I have seen to do it require a cable subscription of some kind. And here comes lawn care again. Alright. 3864. No, not that one. Okay, but yeah, so I've been watching that a lot. I really like it because it's very self-aware of the zombies and the zombie tropes, and the writers and directors and whatnot do a good job of kind of making fun of zombies, but at the same time using them in a creative and interesting way to move the plot along. It's like, it's not just that she's a zombie because why not have her be a zombie, but there's a reason, and there's growth and development in character. And the twists and turns that the series takes with the zombies is really interesting. One of the things that I found super surprising about the show, because I didn't realize it when I first started watching, is that Rob Thomas of Matchbook 20, or Matchbox 20, not Matchbook 20, was one of the executive producers, and he actually makes a cameo in one of the episodes where he is killed during a zombie attack and has his brain eaten, which is hilarious. But yeah, so I really love it. It's really self-aware. It's not as, like, okay, so CW has some really great shows, because CW brought us Supernatural, which is probably one of the best long-running shows, because I think they just finished season 20, and that was their last season. Really? But I find that CW shows can be hit and miss. Some of them are really great and I like to watch them, and some of them I'll watch the pilot and just be like, eh. Okay, moving on. But yeah, and I actually found that one through a YouTuber doing a like, what is this? I'll see if I can find the video and link it down below, but I really enjoy that channel because he does a lot of like the it's his Let Me Explain series where he'll watch popular shows and kind of, or at least the pilots of popular shows, and kind of talk about them in kind of a satirical way. And this one actually looked really interesting, and I'm really glad that I found it because it's given me something to watch during this time. Other things I've been watching, season 3 of Westworld just finished a couple weeks ago, and I am really into Westworld. I've been really into it since the beginning because I have seen the original 1970s one by Michael Crichton, and that is a really, really great movie. And I was really excited, or really interested in the series when it first aired. And so I've been keeping up with it and really, really interested into it, watching the theory videos and reading the Reddits and all that kind of stuff. And a lot of people were disappointed with season 3, mainly because of the pacing and how it ended, and that it was only 8 episodes, which we all know how people feel about HBO shows being shorter than 10 episodes. But I feel like it was done well. I feel like it was a little rushed at the end, just because when we got to the last episode, there was so much ground that had to be covered. And it felt like we were just kind of rushing with not a whole lot of like explanation. And they did the big question reveal that everybody was speculating about really early comparatively in the season. Normally, or not normally, in the last couple of the last 2 seasons, season 1 and season 2, they had these kind of big overarching mysteries for the season. So like season 1 was, who is the man in black? And, or like, was that really what? Yeah, what is the identity of the man in black? And what is Arnold's identity, and how does Arnold fit into all of this? And they did a really good job in those seasons of kind of, yeah, if you really like dove in and went frame by frame and paid attention, you could spot where the creators had left clues for you to figure out what was going on. And a lot of Redditors figured out all of the big twists of season 1 before season 1 even finished. But the reveals normally come late in the season. And because the season was so short, we ended up getting some of the reveals a lot earlier than I think anybody expected we get them. So like the big question for season 3 was, who are the hosts that Dolores smuggled out of the park at the end of season 2? And there was lots of them. Well, she probably brought this person, and she probably brought this host and that host because of X, Y, and Z. And the answers are revealed, I think, at the halfway point of the season. It might be episode 4. I'd have to go back and look. But the reveal didn't feel as satisfying as previous reveals because it was that they had hyped up this big mystery and they revealed it halfway through the season. And yeah, they needed to because of how they set the season up. But at the same time, it feels like they could have drawn that out more. And the only other big mystery for season 3 is, who is Caleb and why is Caleb so important? And that's revealed towards the end of the final episode, but at the same time, it's very similar in reveal to Rey being no one at the end of Last Jedi. That's how that reveal feels to me. And I don't mind it. I just wish they hadn't spent the whole season hyping it up to be like, oh, that's why. But anyway, sidetracking. Let's see, what else have I been watching? Because I had my HBO subscription for Westworld, I ended up watching their Catherine the Great miniseries they did with Helen Mirren last year. And that one was phenomenal. I highly, highly recommend it to anybody who likes period dramas or Russian dramas or Helen Mirren, because Catherine the Great is probably one of the most fascinating characters in all of Russian history. And seeing not only Helen Mirren play her, but seeing Helen Mirren play her at a variety of stages in her life is awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Highly recommend. Let's see what else. I started rewatching the Marvel Cinematic Universe again. That's always a good one. There's lots of movies, lots of details, lots of time. Though personally, so I am a big Captain America fan. Big, big, big Captain America fan. Not because he's Captain America, but because he's actually an interesting, well thought out, developed character. Anyway, but my favorite of all of those movies is The Winter Soldier, because to me, of all of the Marvel movies that I have seen, and I've seen all of them except the 2 Spider-Man movies, because the Spider-Man movies are not on Disney Plus because Sony. And I can't seem to find them anywhere. But to me, of all of the movies, I like Winter Soldier the most. I think it has some of the more creative fight sequences, especially the elevator scene that gets recreated in Endgame. Or the elevator scene that is referenced in Endgame. And that final kind of showdown on the helicarriers is also really well done. And I feel like it gives you a lot of character development for both Black Widow and Captain America. And it brings back Bucky Barnes, who is one of my favorite side characters. But yeah, I do really like all of the Captain America movies. I know a lot of people don't particularly care for First Avenger, but if you actually... I've watched it a lot. Like a lot, like to the point where I know most of the words now, or I know most of the dialogue now. There are things that if you're not paying attention, you miss, and they get referenced later in the movie, and you're like, oh, clever, I like it. But I really like them. I really like the special, or First Avenger also has some really great special effects, because that was the stripping back of Chris Evans to make him be pre-Serum Rogers, which was awesome. Let's see what else. I did finally watch Rise of Skywalker, the final Star Wars movie on Disney Plus the other day, and I honestly thought it was complete and total crud. Because it was like, let us throw all of Star Wars canon out the window. All of it. Traveling in hyperspace takes time? Nah, it's instantaneous now. You can just do things in the Force that have never been done before? Okay. You don't need training to do these things? Okay. And it was just like one thing after another, where I'm just like, I get that you're doing fan service with a lot of this, but at the same time, the fans don't want fan service. They just want a good story. Provide us a good story, and we will be happy to pay you whatever you want to see said story. Because, like, Rogue One was really, really good.
Hi everyone, Editing Fox here. As my luck would have it, my phone stopped recording this video at just around the 20-minute mark, and I had walked away for a second to address something in the house, so I have lost all the footage that happened after that walk away. That being said, I do hope that you did enjoy this video, and please remember to like and subscribe, comment down below if you've watched any of the things that I've been watching, or have any recommendations for things that I should try. With that, I hope you enjoyed again, and I will see you all in another video. Bye!